Alright guys, before this video starts, this is a public service announcement, PSA, to let you guys know that this review will contain spoilers for pretty much all Marvel movies leading up to Far From Home, especially Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. So if you haven't seen Avengers Infinity War or Avengers Endgame or Spider-Man Far From Home, I don't know why you're watching this video, to be honest, because this is a Spider-Man Far From Home spoiler review. So this is your first and only warning that this is a spoiler review. So there will be spoilers. That being said, without further ado, let the review begin. What's going on, everybody? Just to the end, and we are here for Spider-Man Far From Home, my official review. And gosh, this movie was good. Definitely up there with one of the greatest Spider-Man movies of all time. Especially the ending. Primarily speaking, the mid-credit scene. So there are 2 post-credit scenes. So stay to the end of the movie, and you will not be disappointed. So the movie starts off, basically, with a little recap of, what happened in Avengers Endgame, spoiler alert for Endgame, and Infinity War, where 50% of all, people got dusted, and then in Avengers Endgame, they got brought back. Pretty simple as that. What I hate is that they call it the blip, because, I don't know if the desiccation was just not good, or the snatcher, or the snapping, those were, pretty good. But I guess they didn't know that it was, a snap. They didn't know it was the Infinity Gauntlet, or peep the Infinity Drip, by the way. He got the Infinity Bracelet, Infinity Ring, so, I won't be snapping 50% of all life. I'll be snapping 100% of all life. So, we should be careful about that. Well, that's not how it works, but, whatever. It did have a lot of slow parts at the beginning. Spoiler alert, Mysterio is in fact a villain, as we all know. Mysterio was a villain, and they kept him very comic book accurate. You couldn't really tell if he was good or bad until after the end of, I'd say, towards the middle of the second act. So the first part of the movie, little recap, how the world has changed in the past 5 years, going over that, a little recap. They had to redo high school, which sucks, bro. They had to redo that entire class, but hey, at least they're all a little bit smarter, I guess. Maybe there was some new curriculum, new physics, whatever. They also made the joke that kids who were jits, they're 5 years have passed, so it's weird to see that one of the kids named Brad Davis, he was a kid, and now that they're back, he's about the same age, and he's all swole or whatever, and now he has his eye on MJ, which is not too hot because my boy Peter is after MJ, so can't be having that. They're going on their trip to Europe, and it gets interrupted by Nick Fury, who, this was actually revealed in one of the post-credit scenes for the new Avengers Endgame re-release, where they had to fight one of the elementals, and and there was also a scene in the movie. They were fighting one of the elementals, and then Quentin Beck, aka Mysterio, just appears out of nowhere, and he's like, "Who the hell are you guys?" In a very Thor-like way, "Who the hell are you guys?" And then he's just and then that's when the elemental creature pops up, and he's like, y'all don't want no beef with this. And then he goes, whoa, and he blows him up. So yeah, good shit. Nick Fury hijacks that trip. Yeah, the way that Nick Fury does it though is low-key funny, because he's like, oh, the next place that the elemental will pop up is gonna be Prague in the Czech Republic, and that's not on Peter's itinerary for his for his trip. And so he's like, yeah, that's cool, so I'm gonna go now. I don't want to be part of this. I already saved the world. I've been to space. I was involved with all this shit. I'm still dealing with the PTSD of, Tony Stark's death and blah, blah, blah. And so that happened. And they also gave him Tony Stark's glasses, which was in his final will and testament. that Peter Parker be given the glasses, and it gives Peter access to all of Stark Industries, all that good shit. So like, yeah, that's fire. So he's like, peace out, and Nick Fury's like, okay, you can go ahead, you're fine, you can go. And then next thing you know, the next day they're like, guess what, we're going to Prague, because like the hotel said sorry for being a shitty hotel. Guess what, you guys are going to Prague now. And then the guy who is who's in charge of driving the new bus that they have now, because they got a whole new vehicle, a new bus that they get to go on. It's actually one of Nick Fury's agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and then Peter's just like, fuck, why? It basically drags Peter into this, Mysterio battle with, the Elementals. Now we're gonna get into the Mysterio thing. It is revealed that he actually, if you know the comic books or if you know anything about the character Mysterio, we know that he's a villain and he is basically a master of illusion. So it really ties in well with the old Iron Man movies, because he was one of the people who was in charge of the BARFing technology that was on display in Civil War, that Tony displayed. Is like, here you can go back in time, not back in time, but like you can go back to your memories, help with PTSD, all that cool holographic technology. Quentin Beck was behind all of that, and he also enlisted the help of other members of Stark Industries, like people who used to work there or who still work there, and he enlisted their help into making this giant master plan. And he decided to use the snap as a perfect way to introduce himself as a hero, make himself the greatest hero of all time, because now that Tony Stark Iron Man is no longer there, right here by the way, they need someone to fill in his shoes, and he was hoping to be that person. Even though he has no powers, he does not care. Well, I mean, he cares about people to a certain degree, but he tries to get the recognition that he deserves, and that ended up going about it in the wrong way, which was creating these elementals and actually destroying actual property, actual real landmarks, and actually creating civilian casualties just to do that and to make himself look like a hero. So there was that. And so he basically fooled everyone, and the only way that they found out his master plan was with one of the B plots. We're not going to get into all the plot, but basically he was a bad guy. They figured out he was a bad guy, and he almost, the sequences, the fights between Mysterio and Spider-Man in like the Mind Space hologram thing, they were wild. And we finally get to see Peter finally use his Spidey sense. He finally activates it, God mode Spidey sense. So like in one scene, he's closing his eyes and he completely relies on his Spidey sense, and he kicks butt. It was amazing. And yes, so like the fights between Mysterio and Spider-Man were really crazy. Lots of comic book iconography, really cool shit like that. The cinematography, just the character of Jake Gyllenhaal playing Mysterio, it was just great. He brought everything. It was just great. It was amazing. One of the best Spider-Man movies of all time, rivaling even Spider-Man 2, Tobey Maguire. That, because it did kind of have similar things to that. So it was pretty cool. He gets MJ at the end, obviously, so that's pretty much the basis of the movie. Pretty short, very easy to explain off the movie. So at the end of the movie, Spider-Man, he takes MJ on a swing around Manhattan, around New York, being like, wee, doing the thing, and that's where it cuts off. It ends, it continues towards the mid-credit scene where he gets off, and then MJ's like, yeah, we not doing this shit again. I'm gonna keep it a stack with you, bro. We not doing this shit again. And then it's like, okay, cool. So I'll see you around. It's like, yeah, I'll see you around. And so Spidey, he starts to, he hops on the thing like he's about to go, like he's about to, dip. And then the news starts off, and it's like, oh, We have new footage from the death of Mysterio, and here's the footage. Careful, this thing's about to be graphic, blah 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 blah. And basically, what Mysterio did, since he had a whole crew of people with video taping, editing, holograph, that type of shit, he basically had a contingency plan because he ended up dying. I put dying because we didn't really see him, dying. So when he was dying, he was saying that he had contingency plans. Here was one of the contingency plans. So the screen pops up and it shows Mysterio doing some snake ass shit, bro. I was mad, bro. I was like, yo. He's like, it's Mysterio here. Spider-Man attacked me for no reason. He said there can only be one Iron Man. He's gonna be the next Iron Man. This is his world. We're all just living in it. All that stupid shit. Oh my god! And it shows him, when it shows saying that Spider-Man was basically activating some of the drones to destroy everything, and he's like, execute the plan, and it's basically a bunch of lying and misguiding video editing spliced together to make it look like it was real. And then you get the reveal that it's J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson. For y'all youngins who don't understand that reference, that's from the original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, J. Jonah Jameson. He's coming back, and he's more in the role of the new Spider-Man PS4 game. The role that J. Jonah Jameson plays in that one, that's kind of what he's doing. He's doing video broadcasts, kind of like a conspiracy theorist type thing, and it was fuck. And then you get the reveal that there's a second video. The video continues to go on, and J. Jonah Jameson is Mysterio was the greatest hero of all time. I was like, so fuck Iron Man, I guess. Whatever. Fuck Thor, I guess. Fuck Hulk, fuck Captain America. Literally, any one of these four right here was way better than Mysterio, but we're not gonna get into that. So he was like, Mysterio, the greatest hero of all time, was killed by, Spider-Man, or was caused his death by Spider-Man, blah, blah, blah. And there's a new video, and Mysterio basically outs Peter Parker as Spider-Man. I was like, yo, really? You gonna do that top snake shit? You really that petty, my guy? Bro, he's and Spider-Man's true identity is Peter Parker. And they actually showed a picture of Peter Parker as Spider-Man. I was like, yo, that is some snake ass shit, bro. You can't be doing that, bro. You can't. Yo. And then it ends with, in the first movie, you had Aunt May. She discovers that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. And she goes, what the fuck? And then, it starts the credits. They do the same thing here, but with Peter Parker. He's like, what the fuck? And then it goes, to things. So, that was cool. So, yeah. Fuck you, Mysterio, for doing that snake shit. You can't be calling out people like that. What about the ones? People don't want to respect the ones ISO. Come on, man. But, yeah. And then the second post-credit scene was, they played it off as a joke, but it revealed a lot more than most people think. So the next credit scene is, if you stay at the very end, it's Nick Fury and Maria Hill. They're in their car, driving away. And then Maria Hill, they're like, you gotta tell him what happened. And it's Maria Hill telling Nick Fury, you gotta tell him what happened. And we're all like, who the fuck is him? And then it's revealed, and then Maria Hill transforms into a Skrull, and then Nick Fury turns into a Skrull. So the whole movie, every single time you saw Nick Fury and Maria Hill on screen, they were both Skrulls. They were the good Skrulls, Talos and his wife, who were in the original Captain Marvel movie. So that was a little good tie-in right there. They're still playing the role of the good guys, and they're like, and then Talos is like, listen, I don't think we really have to tell him? Because we did the job, we gave the jit the glasses. How was I supposed to know all this shit with Mysterio was going to happen? How was I supposed to know he's fake? Why should I tell him that, this guy tricked me by using illusions when that's our power? I'm not trying to embarrass myself. And then his wife is like, nigga, if you don't tell Nick Fury what the fuck just happened, I'm just tell him what happened. And so they call Nick Fury, and then we see Nick Fury on the beach, and he's like, you know what, I'm just gonna cancel, because I'm not trying to listen to this right now. Because let's be real, Nick Fury probably knew what happened already. He's Nick Fury. Probably knew what happened already. And then it's revealed that he's actually not even on a real beach. he's actually in a hologram thing. So like a lot of holograms, they really overdid the hologram budget on this movie. I'm just saying. So he's actually in like kind of like a simulation type thing where it looks like he's on the beach, and then he hops out and he's like barefoot and he's walking around, and he's actually in a space station with a bunch of other Skrulls, and that is your very first teaser for S.W.O.R.D., which is basically like the space version of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's a giant space station orbiting Earth that is just like S.H.I.E.L.D. but for space. So that opens up the door wide open for Phase 4 to introduce better and greater cosmic threats like Galactus. Now that we got Fantastic Four, you got Galactus, you got evil Skrulls, you got the Kree even, and you have so much more. You can even introduce like Dark Phoenix, those kind of Celestials, Eternals. You can introduce so many much more characters, even Inhumans if you want to even go that route, which they started to do. So that was, really great about opening that second post-credit scene. So, a little comic book lesson for y'all right there. But yeah, all in all, I would give this 9 out of 10 booms. I'm not gonna say it's a 10 out of 10 because they could have done a little better here. There was actually a lot of deleted scenes and lots of things that didn't make it into the movie, which will be on the Blu-ray when it comes out. So I mean, like, hey, that's not too bad. And that's it for my Spider-Man Far From Home review. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you guys thought. If you enjoyed my review, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. Comment down below your favorite part of the movie and who your favorite Marvel character is and who you think should fill in the shoes for Tony Stark. I'm thinking of doing maybe another follow-up video, another Marvel comic video talking about who I think should be the next Iron Man, and not the next Iron Man, but like because he left a power vacuum, who's gonna fill that void? Will it be Norman Osborn with Oscorp? Could it be Fantastic Four, Baxter Building? It could be any one of those, Doctor Doom, even those things. So yeah, I'm guessing that's it for this video. And we hit over 100 subscribers, so that was flipping amazing. So yeah, we hit 100 subscribers. Thank you for the support, all you guys. And yeah, I will definitely see you guys in the next video. Boom!
Niggas be bugging. Nickname is Donna cause these niggas decking. Got 14 days, my nigga, a fortnight. Guns that you blasting only on Fortnite. Chopper gon' grind you niggas like port runs. Ho call me Batman, nigga, the Dark Knight.